The Suns are set to face the Timberwolves officially for round one of the NBA playoffs. I wanted to see if there was anything of note to be on the lookout during this upcoming series. Phoenix played Minnesota 3 times during the regular season and won all games. Looking through the data, there is one big, very noticeable factor that's undoubtedly going to have an effect on the outcome of this series, and that factor is 3-point shooting. Take a moment and listen to some of these stats. Throughout the regular season, Minnesota forced its opponents to shoot 35.4% from 3. That was 7th best in the league. However, Phoenix shot 48.8% from long range against the Timberwolves. In fact, that was 2nd best in the league against this team, and for the Suns themselves, that was a 10.6% improvement from their regular season 3-point percentage. I'll give you another one. During the regular season, the Timberwolves allowed their opponents to only make 11.4 threes per game. That was 3rd best in the league. But in games against Phoenix, the Suns made 14 threes per game. That was 4th best in the league against this team. And additionally, in these games, they also only took 28.7 3-point attempts per game. That was 24th least attempts in the league and almost 4 threes less than their own regular season average. So essentially, Phoenix made more threes while taking less 3-point attempts when they faced Minnesota specifically. So why did this happen? Why was Phoenix so good against Minnesota from long range? Take a look at this chart and see what sticks out for you. Here are all the players that made at least 1 3 during the Suns-Timberwolves series this season. A couple things. 8 out of the 12 players here attempted at least 4 3-point shots. Among these 8 players, 5 shot better than their own personal regular season 3-point percentage averages. And from these 5 players, 3 shot at least 60% from long range, accounting for 57% of all the makes from long distance in this series. Those players were Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, and Bradley Beal. Let's dive in. First, let's look at Grayson Allen. Through the regular season series against Minnesota, Grayson went 10 of 16, shooting 63% from long range. Remember, his regular season 3-point average was 46%, so it's a plus 17% improvement. Going through these clips, there's a very apparent consistency with Grayson. Number one, he very much benefits sharing the floor with players like Booker and KD. Take a look at this play. So Durant's going to come up and ghost the screen. This then flows into a Spain pick and roll. Nurkic sets a solid screen and Ant gets beaten. Gobert's in drop, and notice him already seeking out the back screen, so much so that he ends up going under Allen, who's popping out. Both defenders help on Book, and Allen gets the open look. But outside of benefiting from playing with the likes of KD, Beal, and Booker, Grayson also showed his off-ball savviness. His movement off the ball helped lead to a lot of the makes he had. Take a look here. We can see as Beal penetrates and pulls out to the corner, Allen is aware and lifting towards the weak side wing. And then Beal penetrates again, and Allen in sync begins dropping to the corner again. But it's not just knowledge of knowing where to go, it's also timing as well. Take a look here. Book penetrates, and Eubanks gets the ball underneath the basket. Now keep a close eye on Allen. Cat is on him, and the moment Cat stunts towards Eubanks, Allen is on the move. He shifts to his side and is able to knock it down. The other thing about Grayson is simply his persistence in the play. Watch here, as he sets a screen and then sets 2 additional ghost screens until he's able to get a good look. Overall, Grayson had a profound impact on the series. He made the most threes while shooting at a very high efficiency. With the attention Phoenix's stars are going to get, it's going to be key for him to use his off-ball movement, use his timing, his awareness, and his persistence to his advantage and to Phoenix's advantage. Now let's take a look at Josh Okogie. Okogie was stellar from long range versus Minnesota this season. He averaged 1.3 made threes per game in the series, whereas his regular season average was only 0.5 makes per game. He also shot 100% on these attempts, which is definitely not reflective of his 41.7% three-point average during the regular season. While I'm not expecting him to sustain this level in the upcoming round, I would like to see him stay ready on the catch when the Suns' primary guys are getting the bulk of the defensive attention. Watch here. We can see Josh stationed in the corner throughout the entire play. As the Suns run through their actions, we see Nurk come up to screen. Him leaving the paint pulls Cat out, and now Gobert has to watch it since he's the only big remaining inside. And then we're going to see the pin down from Nurk. Durant's going to curl and drive, and just watch the defense collapse inside. Another example here. This time Okogie stationed in the opposite corner. The Suns start with an empty side pick and roll. Durant gets the ball on the wing, but has to reset. He then gets the ball screen from Gordon. Notice Cat right at the level of the pick. The Timberwolves do not want to give any room to KD and end up doubling. Durant dishes to the open Gordon, who then dishes it to Okogie. So while Okogie isn't known as a spot-up shooter per se, if Minnesota is going to give this much attention to Phoenix's stars, it'll be interesting to see how ready he is when that ball gets kicked out to him. And finally, let's take a look at Bradley Beal. Something to note is that Beal only played in 2 out of the 3 Suns Timberwolves games this season, so he technically averaged 4 made threes per game. That's more than double his 1.9 season average. And in one of those games, he had a 36-point explosion where he went 6 of 6 from long. We know that Beal is the guy that has had to sacrifice the most among the big 3, and going through the clips, the ways in which he got his against Minnesota reflected this. In 3 out of his 8 makes, he was the initiator of the offense. One of his makes was taken with 0.6 seconds left on the shot clock, and another one of his makes was made off a second chance kickout in the open space. Here's a play where Phoenix used him as a down screener and thumb down. Booker's going to use a screen and drive, and watch how much attention he gets going downhill. Even more noticeable, with the drive contained and Booker doubled, look how far out Ant stays. So Beal is then able to hit the shot after cutting away and using the 2 screens. Here, Beal initiates. He gets 2 screens. The first switches Cat, but he knows Gobert is deeper in the drop, and he stays patient before he pulls. And of course, he's going to benefit from being on the court with both Book and KD. Watch here as he brings the ball up court and gives an entry pass to Durant. The defense is drawn in, and Durant kicks it out and Beal knocks it down. We know the kind of scorer that Bradley Beal is capable of being, whether he's off the ball or initiating the offense. He probably won't shoot 89% from 3 in this series, as he did against this team during the regular season, but it'll still be critical that he gets to his spots, whether he has the ball or not, and knocks it down at a decent clip.